the fines and fees. Because we've put it off so many times since our meetings go so long and then it just keeps getting tabled, so that's why we started a little bit early. And I kind of want to talk about the subdivision theme too, so. Do you want to start with fines and fees or the allowed uses? What do you think's more pressing?
You're the boss.
Not really,
I think you can do whatever you would like to do.
let's look at allowed uses first, because I think those are the things we've had more problems with. Than the fines and fees. I'm always worried that somebody's gonna sneak up on us, just like the cell tower or the drug and alcohol treatment center, and that we're not gonna be ready, so.
I don't know if I have that one. Do I have that one?
It was in our, I think it was in our packet when we talked about it before. Either that or I printed it out, I can't remember, to be honest, but if you printed your packet out for the meeting tonight, I didn't print it. Because it's also in there, because this is like the whole Title 10 thing, and so these ones are more, that's more current, but
Extra one printed out.
awesome. And I thought maybe we'll start with residential and then go to commercial.
Okay.
I'm not as concerned about the other two, and I mean, I guess there's actually maybe three others, but I think if we can get through commercial and residential tonight. And then move on and talk about the subdivision ordinance and the fines, I guess, but. So it's under 10(2)(b)(4) is the residential section. And I know we briefly discussed this.
Thanks. That's why
Hey,
I'm
Sheldon.
printing it out. I got it all.
We're gonna start off with the allowed uses. And look at residential and commercial. Let me read this. I don't have a copy of allowed uses, sure, maybe if you want. So I know we talked about this a little bit before. As far as in a residential area, have you guys gone through, is there anything that stood out to you that you don't feel like fits having as an allowed use in a residential area?
I'm not fine.
Yeah, that, I mean, that's a big line that we probably need to. The thing that's funny is if you look on commercial, it's not allowed in. But it's allowed in residential, so I thought maybe they mixed up, but I would like
They
to,
live there,
maybe, I don't know,
they sleep there.
but I think if we change it. I mean, I would rather see it in a commercial area than in a residential. With like some stipulations, if we go into the definitions, like maybe. You know, it can't be so many feet. In proximity to a school or to a daycare or something like that. I think we need to actually have that in our wording so that. We have something to go off, you know, on when we do. So what are your thoughts?
Okay. I mean, I don't know if there's some other. You know. Because remember, they basically try to sue us over the abilities.
Right.
Act, so I have to know if that would. Prevent us from putting it in. The residential area or things like. And so that having a residential area is what adds some normalcy to their lives. I don't know what argument would be made. Yeah, right.
I know, obviously I don't know what the laws are regarding that, so you could be right. When I talked to one of the police departments that I talked to, she said. You know, that is not the right place for it, like. I don't know, I know that I've seen some of those facilities located by like apartment complexes and things like that, so obviously that's a residential area. But I think if our code says, okay, well, we're not saying we can't put it in the city, but it can only be in certain spots, I don't know, we don't, That might be
Well,
something.
even if it was in, residential area, I think that, I mean, like, your concerns you brought up with school. Those are valid and, yeah, if you so far with schools, that's. Fine.
So,
Like 2 miles from the school,
At least,
like none of them were.
there's one in our neighborhood, I'm not gonna need daycare, so you.
No, I'm not.
so right now it's a conditional use on any size.
I think an important thing on that too, like, one of the things, on the meeting when we gave them their conditional use permit was the number of people. I don't think our thing now limits that. So that was, I kind of like that bed and breakfast, and if the bed and breakfast limits to 10, then we're going to have some limitations on the number of people.
Yeah, I think that's smart.
Because if they, prices, I think the same, they could technically put like 26.
I think it has them
square
for like
footage.
20, 22 or 26,
That's
something like that, yeah.
like, based on the state regulation of
Yeah.
square footage per kid.
Per kid, they could have had a lot more.
Yeah, so I think that's a big deal, because the thing is, there's a certain number of kids versus profitability where if it's, they're staying with 24 kids in there, is making a ton more money than like a 10 or 12 range, like what we get into. And I feel like because, 10 was into what I was gonna say before, that's at least a good place to start.
So right now, the definition is an establishment or portion thereof that provides permanent provisions for living, sleeping, eating, cooking, and sanitation for more than 8 juveniles under 18 years old. And provides treatment for substance abuse, mental illness, emotional disturbance, developmental disability, mental retardation, or juveniles who have been identified by the judicial system as requiring treatment, therapy, rehabilitation, or supervision. For purposes of this title, this definition shall include group foster homes with more than 13 juveniles. Juveniles, how to say. So. You want to leave it as a conditional use, like then not allowed, but conditional use in every single zone? But tighten up the definition of,
I don't see we can do both, change both. At least we can see if we can change the zone. I mean, I'm okay with that,
but if we can't. then-
I guess the thing would be like, okay, let's say that they, this doesn't really really matter, because let's say they put it over on 5,500 in that area that is already zoned commercial. Well, maybe I have, there's still plenty of
There's no
houses
houses.
around there, so
There's
I don't know that that's.
Depends on where you put it, if it's a school.
Yeah, exactly.
West of that church, and it's right next to that subdivision still.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
so.
So I don't know that the zoning is so much the thing versus the definition.
Okay, so
Because my understanding is we have to allow it on some, we have to say,
but I like the idea of capping it.
yeah, for sure. That definition said more than 8, and I'm not sure why it even starts at 8, because I feel like there should be eyes on it if it's less than 8 too.
For sure.
So I don't know if we say that anything about, you take out the more than 8 and just say less than 12 or 13 or whatever that other number said.
With the stipulations and then, about, or can we say no co-ed facilities? And that,
Yeah, I like that.
that there, we require this city staff, and it can be located in this proximity to a school.
Yeah.
So no more than 10, is that what you said, or 8?
Well, the other verbiage on, was it foster homes, so 13. And technically, we gave them that one at 12.
We get
Foster
10 or 12.
home. 13 children.
So. You said 10, and you
Well, yeah, because I was going off,
bed and breakfast.
I was kind of comparing it to the, bed and breakfast. But I also like the flexibility, like it can be up to 13, but like, 10 is a more realistic, they're like, I think they should earn like 13. Which is what they're saying they're gonna do. They gave us the scholarship on one, and they said, okay, if everything's going good and we're not having, calls and I don't know what you classify those things as, like instances with the state, yeah. If they're running the facility like they say they can, they will, then not impacting the community. I'm not opposed to giving the 13. I just don't feel like it should start there. It should, you should, that should be something you show that you can manage and own.
I think from a
I don't necessarily know how
liability,
you word that, but.
like, obviously, the more residents you have, the more chance you have of having an incident, and so I lean more on the side of keeping it lower. Also, when you have a co-ed facility, that increases your chances that there's gonna be.
I didn't like the COVID facility.
And I think if you're close to a school, that also is a risk. I think that's one of the main things I'm hearing from people when they come in that they're worried about, so.
Mhm.
So no more than this many residents.
Full
No co-ed.
fenced properties.
Maintenance. Property. What was the other thing we just talked about? Oh, proximity to a school. Yeah, I got no co-ed, proximity to schools or daycares. Anything else that would fall under that?
Do you need to define proximity or can we just let that go?
Oh, no, you can just define that. I think I'm just putting, and then we'll fill in the blanks. You guys tell me what you think. No more than blank residents, no co-ed facilities. I'll have to run this by Brandon to make sure that, I mean, our code's pretty specific. It cuts it down to however many people, like, I don't know why that was. We already have a limit on how many we can have, so if we didn't want to tighten it up, we should be okay, I would think. And then, what proximity do you think is fair? As far as to the school or daycare?
Well, my trouble, I can run far as anybody in my family.
What is it for alcohol, 600 feet?
To be sold.
So 1,500 feet?
That wouldn't have changed where that one was, I believe.
No.
Measured it was like right at 1,500. I can't get my phone to do the measurement, but. 1,500 feet is just barely over a quarter mile, so I like a half a mile number bigger.
How close does a student have to live to the school
2 miles.
to not ride the bus?
2
2
miles.
miles?
Yeah,
Holy cow, I thought it was like a mile when I went to school.
it probably was when we went to school.
Yeah,
It used to be
probably,
closer, but
yeah.
You know, kindergarten sometimes has a shorter distance, but that's like 2 miles.
Half mile is good,
Yeah, so I thought that same thing, but no, that was
Yeah.
like 2 miles.
so 2,500, well, half miles, 26.
625.
I would think most people wouldn't have their kids, maybe, I mean, I'm not judging, but I would probably drive my kid if I lived 2 miles away, but if they lived a mile away. They'd probably be more likely to be walking, so. A mile unreasonable.
How far was it from your old house to Hooper?
Not very far, I just lived down from Hooper Park.
I know, so I'm trying to think,
So.
what's
you
yours
weren't quite to 6,700.
63.
63,
Cause mine's a
so
mile.
that's probably a half.
So maybe,
I think I'm a mile on 7,100, I think I'm a good mile.
well, the blocks are half mile blocks.
My house at 68, I'm pretty sure
Mine's 1.5,
it's about a mile.
Your,
and I'm over 48.
your distance to the school.
Right on this.
We can do 2,500 feet. I don't think you're gonna get 2 mile,
Is that like half a mile? Cause 5280 is a mile or 58.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's 280.
we say within a half mile of those?
That's 40. I don't think that's unreasonable.
Half mile radius. Right,
Yeah,
all right, and then no
That's
more than
and daycare.
schools and daycares. Anything else that you think falls under that umbrella? that-
What? You know, we have just people that have daycare licenses, so if they.
Big licensed daycares,
Just someone's house that has lots of sport kids.
yeah, I would say
What
licensed.
about,
yeah,
what about like preschools?
That's-
I don't know if they fall under that same umbrella, but
I
like
think so.
You have to have a licensing.
Sherry. Little
K-pop,
Mickey's,
or, yeah,
I don't forget her last name.
what she got.
I don't- Under the Cowboy Church, she was there for a while. She didn't teach this year, but I think my kids were there. So, I'm just saying that, my kids were upset playing all the time, they were, so.
The only other thing I can think of for kids would really be the parks. They're all.
No,
Okay, and then,
Typically, their kids are.
yeah. And then no more than, what did we decide, how many residents?
I like the same as the bed and breakfast, the 10.
10?
Mhm.
Okay. No more than 10 residents, no co-ed facilities, fully fenced property. Proximity to schools, daycare, municipal preschools, no more than.
I wish I had my list
radius.
of, all the different conditions we put on it. Other conditions we put on
They're
it
they're on our minutes.
were like, the alarm system, the security system. We could even say like the on-site security.
Yeah,
Feet tall fence.
so it's fully fenced property with at minimum 8-foot fence.
No volume.
You look at them fines,
And so it's
Which one
security
you like?
24 hours.
Which finds
No volume,
beef? I look them over.
6 meters. I know you put no awards of the state, I don't know. I don't know if we can. I don't know what the.
legal. Well, I think if they have boards of the state, then their licensing changes. Because now they're taking. Which lack of a better word, convicts, if you will, or, you know what I mean? So I think their license changes. If they do that.
That's fine, that's not, well, 3 acres, yeah.
I went back and listened to the recording, so I was like, is this everything that you guys said? There's a lot. And I think this is a good one too, that they're required to send a census report quarterly to the city.
Mhm. Yes.
Not one. Oops. Thanks. I mean, I don't think it would hurt to put this either, as far as the adhering to the Department of Health and Human Services regulations for their applicable license.
I mean,
That
it's kind
covers
of-
us doubly.
Yeah, exactly, it's kind of a. Repeating the obvious type of thing, but. If they don't, think they're in double violation. I wonder if we could have something like this and. You know what I mean?
Mhm. I think, to me, if they know that this is what's required up front,
Mhm.
it may just kind of weed out people that are
Yeah.
like, no, we don't want to deal with all the stipulations, but we're doing it. We're trying
So maybe just say something like,
all of the conditions that the planning commission made. No.
well, say something like, the permit can be revoked if they have an excess amount of calls. I mean, the only thing I worry about that, even when we did that one, it was like, they just don't call, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the phone's unplugged, the house.
know.
type of thing. Got the kid catcher out there with his big net.
Permit
Don't
can-
tell anyone.
Permit can be revoked if law enforcement calls exceed 4 per year. Mediation. To be attempted first or to be, I don't know what you guys said.
Basically, we have to come back and explain what's going on. It wasn't like gonna be a direct revocation, but like, what's going on, why is it? And they set the number.
I heard him, and they're like, I'm comfortable with 4. So he
But-
said 4 per month, and he's like, no, 4 per year. So it's like, that's good. Permit can be revoked if law enforcement calls exceed 4 per year. Mediation may be attempted or something. Maybe.
Warranted.
warrant. Anything else on that one?
No.
What else? You guys,
We're still going over a piece, but right?
yeah, we talked about, we thought they could do
Was
this.
there
without
any
pieces.
other things as far as like, old folks homes or something like that that we need to be worried about?
Assisted living.
Senior living facility.
As far as allowing them, or you
Or
mean
just-
in proximity to this?
Well, yeah, just like buttoning that up as far as like, I mean. I like them, I think that they're good, but if they can be, they can be bad too, so what can we do that? You know, there's, and, you know. I guess when we talk about no, but there's some facilities have a reputation for being bad and some have a reputation for being good. And obviously a lot of that is just like the owners making them that way, but
Sure.
what can we do to steer that
You better do it.
in a better direction as far as like, you know, staff per employee, or sorry, staff per employee, or just fine for
Mhm.
residents. Might be worth looking at that.
Yeah, let's look at the definition.
Like a definition of like, I don't know, the ones where they take care of themselves, people take care of themselves, but they have staff rather than.
Yeah, I know, and that's the other thing, too, is there's different tiers within it for sure. There's assisted living and there's like planned community living.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
What's their
definitely
kind of
tiers
ones?
inside of that. So.
So I don't see assisted living, it could be under something else.
It's under, oh,
There's like. A group daycare home for children or adults who regularly receive care and supervision, but that's less than 15 hours a day. Did you say you found it?
no.
No, maybe we don't.
That's something.
Like halfway house,
We don't want those.
that's another thing, like.
It's a are you talking, sorry, I was spacing out, residential care facility? That's
Yeah,
the
it's
one you're
like
looking for?
assisted living.
Yeah, it's
you know.
under residential care facility. You look at residential care facility, the last line, is that what you're looking at?
It helps if I'm a glass, but let's see.
Well, there's a nursing facility skill. And then a
And that could be
residential
it, too.
care facility.
So let's see, residential care
But the
facility.
last line of that one says that shall, but not be limited to assisted living, retirement home and respite care.
So this would be non-medical. The residential care facility.
Right.
And you're looking for,
It's like assisted living, they provide or medical care too, so that's probably a skilled nursing facility. Say. Both of those we probably would wanna. Make sure the definitions are probably not done. Okay.
The residential care ones would want to be state
There's a hundred five.
Probably.
more than.
I don't know. Is there? Okay, wouldn't it be? Okay. Is it under nursing? Is that the first?
Page 29 has residential college.
there's nursing facility skilled. An establishment that provides permanent provision for living, sleeping, eating.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, what? Okay. An establishment provides a permanent provision, for permanent provisions for living, sleeping, eating, cooking. Sanitation, healthcare needs to more than 8 individuals who at minimum require inpatient care and services for 24 or more consecutive hours. For unstable chronic health problems, daily professional nursing supervision. I feel like this is a little bit more. I wouldn't worry as much, maybe, I don't know, maybe.
Well, the thing, they're all gonna have their, requirements by the state too.
Sure.
But like I said, obviously, those certain facilities don't have as good a reputation as others. I guess I don't know enough about it to know what to say on it.
And I don't know if you'd have a lot of law enforcement calls per se to something like
No.
that. You know?
I guess I'm more just worried about the care of the people inside it, like making sure they have the staff ratio that's good.
Can we,
I don't know.
I don't know, I don't even know. if we
That's
can.
state, isn't it? With their license.
I would think so,
Yeah, but
but I don't know, like with a lot of things that the state has, we can put our own on top of that if we wanna make it more stringent. I just don't know when it comes to health and human services. Like, how much leeway. we have with
it's
that.
like you have to know this about.
Yeah, it's. Which one is that, the nursing one? Because this is commercial. Maybe that's why I have a question. Because I don't think it's on here. There's residential care. But it doesn't even say that we allow. A skilled nursing facility in a commercial area, and I would think it would be more. Everyone I've seen of those is in a commercial area. For skilled nursing facility. I don't know if I've ever, maybe there are some, but
Is it, unless you know the definition begins and ends. But
I just, with my parents, when they, especially my mom, she's 78, and some of those at different times over the last few years, and. They're all located in commercial areas, so I don't
I think most of them are,
so it's strange that we don't have it on the commercial,
or bordering.
but we have it in the residential. So that's something we want to move, so it can be allowed in commercial?
sure.
I would, because they're gonna be parking.
In all commercial zones? I don't know that it makes any difference, but. Okay. Let's see, residential trees, madam. That is allowed in. One of the commercial zones. Technically, two, if you count the office space. I guess some of the main ones, like, I'm just worried about, I wanna make sure we're looking at anything that's gonna be like. Hot topic controversial that people are gonna come in, like the drug and alcohol treatment facility or the. Cell phone tower, like,
The thing is, like, never really knows how.
so, yeah, and that's why we're trying to be proactive.
Like, somebody could have a boarding house. or-
Yeah, a boarding house, I mean, it's not allowed in residential.
It's something like that.
Not in commercial,
It's in-
it is in commercial. But I had a note on there, more defined, like I think we need to maybe think about definition. It's like something that is like a lengthy thing, I don't think we're gonna get through. Everything. Dangerous or protected animals, I mean, if somebody has a tiger next door, is that okay, as long as we put in stipulations that they have to be in a cage, or. I don't know, there were just some things that I was like, would that ever happen, but maybe,
Most of those people you wouldn't know about them.
yeah. Let's see, I think, didn't you point out like the fence, the barbed wire, electric fence? I circled that, I thought that was either brought that up in our other meeting, but I don't know why we would even need to have that in an R2 zone.
Half acre lot,
Oh, I mean,
but if you go half acre lots, then go back areas like, got the
I guess
goats
if
or-
it was maybe adjacent to, like, I'm just thinking not in between, like, homes, right? Wouldn't that be more of an agricultural type thing?
I don't think so.
So we're right here. And just right up the street are. Well, these houses are like half acre lots and they look better now, but. I'm sure I could find other half acre lots that, the houses here and way back here is gonna be more like. not well kept.
Mhm.
But I'm not all one, but. I got barbed wire and mine was there from when, you know, it was the field.
Well, I don't really care. I guess the electric fence was what caught my eye, because I was like, well, you live in a subdivision and you've got an electric fence. And people have kids, I don't know, I guess I'm trying to understand.
I think it depends on how many animals you can have.
You only do it a couple times.
That's right.
That's good.
So my grandpa had an electric fence and that was, you know,
Oh, yeah.
that was half the fun when we were down.
We've all had that one.
I guess if it's not gonna kill them, then we'll just- Foster home. Let's see. There were just a couple of others. I did circle on here. Residential care facility, I think that is one that we do need to look at, because is that something that's similar to the drug and alcohol treatment facility? Like, if you look at the definition on it.
I think that's for older people.
That's personal care assistance, like a rehab, if they get released from the hospital and have to rehab like a hip or a knee or.
So it's not ever for like addiction type stuff.
No, it's for assisted living facility, retirement home and respite care.
So I guess that's okay. Well, what is it? When they very first came in and applied for this, and they didn't have it designated as a
Children's.
children's. They had it as a treatment facility, drug and alcohol treatment facility. So is that not currently even allowed in our? I mean, oh, it is, it's right here. So would we want to have the same stipulations on this that we do on the children's treatment facility? Okay. And I guess I didn't understand, like, on the roadside produce stand. Why? That isn't allowed, I mean, where we live in Pittsburgh, people sell it, I don't know,
Yeah.
to me, I don't think that's, I don't feel like that's. But is there a reason you can think of why we wouldn't want to allow that in any area?
Get a new one?
Just R1,
Yeah, well, it's the same one. Well, it's the one that wasn't working last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mic's good in this one.
only one I think don't make sense.
They
Like, I
can
don't
hear
know why
us.
that would be- I guess maybe if you think about like R2, the houses are closer together, and if you had a whole bunch of traffic coming into. Big stuff, but
Yeah, but they're
But
that
we
close
can't-
together down. When Thurl Cox is showing his, they're half Baker, they're closer together.
so I think we should allow it in half acre or all of them.
I don't see why you wouldn't do it in all of them.
Well, most of the half acre and third acre are 100-foot frontage, so. You know what I mean?
Well, and the people in the half acre or a little smaller aren't gonna have the produce.
Yeah, but. Well, who's to
But
say
sometimes, like,
you don't grow it on your farm and take it up to. You know,
that's true.
someone else's farm.
Well, and even,
But I don't have a problem, like, some corn. you know.
I have neighbors and things that, like, you and my sister, they grew pumpkins, her kids had this little pumpkin growing business, and then they live in a half acre. And they sold it and people came, I just don't think people should get in trouble for this, I don't think it's gonna be a major operation.
No.
But you're gonna have people that'll try to turn people in if.
Is it defined as a roadside stand?
It
Yeah.
says, road, let me look what the definition says on it.
A roadside produce stand, an establishment where farm produce is displayed and sold to the general public.
I was gonna say, because that could possibly open the door to other people wanting to sell other things roadside. That you want to limit. So,
So it does say produce.
Yeah,
They do have a separate one for seasonal stands,
That one thing.
fireworks, snow cone, and
Okay.
Christmas trees.
Fireworks, snow
we can't
cones.
get rid of the snow.
Oh, yeah, the term seasonal stand shall include, but not limited to fireworks, snow cones, produce, or Christmas tree.
But not limited to, so I guess. It's broader. That just brings up one point
So is it just
I'm,
Christmas tree stands or Christmas
Where's that
trees too?
allowed at? Yeah,
oh, where is it allowed? I don't know, and,
I don't see it on commercial or residential.
It's just in the definitions.
yeah, I don't know, it might not be. Might not have an application in the allowances, I don't
Well,
know.
let's get it one.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. All right, anything else on there? And these, I guess, as long as we can put in it's talking about the towers, like the cell phone towers and different things like that. We have a cell phone tower ordinance now, so that should cover us, hopefully.
So do we want, which one is to all approved, which is to conditional?
I mean, I don't think
For
people should
produce,
have
I'm
to come in and get a
okay with one.
conditional,
Yeah,
I think we
produce, I'm-
should just allow it.
Yeah.
If we did make them get a conditional use permit, I would say, like, if you lived in a subdivision. Like, we don't have this, but if we have like, 6 homes to live, if it's really, really tight in there and there's not a lot of room to move around, but I don't have a problem with it really at all, so. Okay, so all zones allowed.
All of a sudden next year, we got like 15 produce stands popping up. It's good, man.
No, you don't have to run fast.
Or Smith,
What about commercial, unless there's anything else residential that stands out to you?
no.
So. Let's see. So, under automobile major repair,
Mhm.
I guess it's under, Winston's is in an industrial area, right?
Mhm.
So, it's like,
M1, I think,
we allow it in C2, but we don't allow it in C1. And I guess I just questioned if it matters.
we allow it in R1?
I doubt it, well, we just had that problem, didn't we?
We still do.
Do we?
Well, if you go down the backside of 5100, that guy's running a truck repair business, just as you turn the corner.
Yeah, so there's automotive hobby, and that's allowed. But as far as a business, that's not on the residential.
I mean, the frontage is on 4900 or whatever that half road is, just across from the burned down church.
Cool stuff going on.
50 Shenandoah.
Yeah, 50. That old boy that runs
Yeah,
that.
he used to, doesn't do that anymore. He used to have a bunch of crap wrapped out there.
Well, he just pulled in with his commercial truck that he goes out and does all the grease and
Yeah, he works for
Wadsworth.
Wadsworth now.
does he?
Yeah.
So as far as the automotive repair, major repair, is there a reason why we wouldn't want that in a commercial area, in both commercial C1 or C2?
I think it's all right.
We want commercial, right? Like some,
Yeah.
so. Okay, so. So we'll add that to C1. And then. Bar, brew pub, or nightclub. Do we want any certain restrictions on those? Do we want locations? Do we?
Well, you're gonna follow the state, it's 600 feet, isn't it? They can't be,
Or, yeah.
Do a school? What about daycares or anything like that? I mean, does it? I don't know. I don't know what. I'm more worried about them just getting on the road and driving, sleeping, drinking.
they
but-
do a bar in Hooper, it's gonna be a heck of a lot like the confectionery in Plain City.
That's speaking Hooper now, but down the road, like, I don't know. I just, boarding house, these are just a couple that because I don't know. If that's
Boarding
something we
house.
want. Love the difference. Go it's bigger. An establishment, with individual rooms. Where meals and lodging are provided for with or without compensation to more than 2, but not more than 10 persons. A boarding house shall include but not be limited to a rooming house, shelter, convent, monastery, dormitory, fraternity house, sorority house, or any group of individuals whose association is temporary or seasonal in nature.
Well, they had you had a boys home down on 7,500
Yeah, I
when you were
remember that.
growing up.
I remember that was right across the street from my friend's house. Hotels, motels, multifamily developments, and bed and breakfast establishments are herein defined, as herein defined, shall not be considered living houses. And some of these things I don't see them happening right now, but Hooper could change a lot, so you have to think down the road. I mean, we were talking about a shelter, like. The sad reality of it is that a lot of people, you know, that would be like. In a homeless shelter or something like that, a lot of times do have some. You know, substance abuse or mental health issues that you might not want it located right next to the school or something like that. So I don't know if we want to put something in place. Or. What are your thoughts? I mean, technically, we don't have to allow them at all if we didn't want to, but
Well, let's do this way, if we got an application for one. What would happen? But we don't have to. Let them in, but why leave them alone?
Does an Airbnb fall under that?
question. Because that's something that I wonder if it's being run as a business, if that's something that should be coming part of that to the city or whatever. I don't know how.
It's not a bed and breakfast, because you're not providing breakfast. And you're not providing, you should have an house.
Historically, we have allowed,
I mean, it could be a-
Let's say where meals and lodging are provided for, with or without compensation. So I don't think you could, I don't think an Airbnb found that right. I mean, I've never stayed at an Airbnb where they provided meals.
well, they could
That's
have,
what he's running,
they
right?
could have like thing of cereal and be like, it's provided.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah. That's what I would, if that was the argument.
Shall include, but not be limited to, a rooming house, shelter, convent, monastery, dormitory. Or any group of individuals whose association is temporary or seasonal in nature. Where it says hotels, motels are not in that. I would put an Airbnb more in that. Probably, like, I don't know, maybe we just need to put in the definition, this
Well-
does not include Airbnbs, or it does.
I know of people that have them in Hickory, and I've never heard of any complaints about it.
Yeah, I don't think there's,
It's not like we're next to a college
no.
football stadium or something like that, it's bringing them in like crazy, so.
So what if we just tighten up the definition that this does not include Airbnbs? And then
I
just
just
don't
wanted to
allow,
really
is
fit.
that what you're thinking? Or did I miss your
I
point?
think it would be whether we have explicitly about them or not. They are here, they haven't been this year.
I don't mean Airbnbs, I just mean boarding houses.
Oh,
So if we put the definition of boarding house and specifically said this does not include Airbnb, like,
Well, it does say rooms and an Airbnb is not a room, it's a whole room. So you're probably, it's probably
No,
not.
so-
well, it can be, you can get an Airbnb for one room.
Can you?
Yeah. Or like the basement.
No, kids and kids in it.